Welcome to the Valt Podcast. We are your car culture cultivators. I'm Sean, and of course, we are joined by our fabulous panel. Man, I cut out today.
Oh boy,
My boy, I'm all out. Somebody pass the lube for my throat here.
Crevassier.
Whoa. Something to drink. That's what I mean, guys. No, but
Viper beer.
Viper beer, today's sponsor.
Well, you know what? I think and Frank here, multiple time guest now. Hello.
Yes.
Last time I was here, I brought, I believe it was a Nissan hardbody 4x4 themed beer from Alvarado Street. So this time I brought Dodge Viper themed adult beverages.
That is awesome. And of course, wait, I got to introduce the rest of the panel.
Please.
Starting with,
Joe, how's it going, everybody?
Hi.
Hey, Vijay, how's it going?
and now you have to reintroduce yourself.
Reintroduce
because
myself.
You mess up the flow.
That's what I'm here to do, is just perpetually ruin the flow of this show. Yes, my name is Frank Harrington. I have a day job working at Carson Bids. I have a night job not hanging with Diddy, but doing automotive photography. That's kind of how I got into this. And we are opening the Viper beer. I can hear the sound effects. I don't know if that's coming through the mics, but
Was that a V10 I heard?
Yeah, it sounds like
sounds better, honestly, than a Dodge Viper. They don't.
This is like
they don't
still
sound all that
smaller
great.
than one cylinder of a Dodge Viper. I
This
think.
is true.
Nice.
Science.
Nice.
Yeah, although
Very
it's
cool.
bigger than one whole engine of a Honda Beat.
Nice. I'm going to wait
the
till
beat goes on.
the interior of the can starts falling apart in your mouth.
Yeah.
Bore scoring with your the beer.
Joe, what do we have in store today?
So like always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you're subscribed. This is what the channel looks like. If you don't know what the channel looks like, I have no idea how you got here, but
Holy cow.
make sure you're subscribed to the channel, like this video if you enjoyed it, all that jazz. But before we get started into the actual podcast, how's everyone's week been? VJ, you got published in Avants.
Yeah, it was a good week. I got double published in Avants. This is my second issue on the quarterly print magazine of Avants, and I got to live out my fantasy of writing love letters to French cars. In the main Mark featured, I got to experience 5 different French cars, including pre-war Bugatti, Renault from the 70s, an Alpine, a Peugeot from the 60s, and one more which I don't remember, but wait, what was that? Yeah, it was a NSU Prints, which is also a second article feature in the same magazine. So yeah, it's pretty good week for my auto journalism ambitions, I would say. Yeah.
Nice. Congratulations.
Which French girl won your heart out of the ones you drove? What was your favorite?
I mean, they're all good in different ways, but the Citroen SM is like my ultimate dream car.
It's a pretty special car.
If I win the lottery, I'll probably get the world's best sorted Citroen SM. You'll see signs. Yeah.
Fantastic.
For those who don't know about Avants, VJ, do you want to give it a rundown? Because I'm actually really not. I know I kind of have an idea, but
So
what is Avants?
Avants is a car culture group which largely deals with event organization, high-end event organizations for their members. They also have a magazine, they have a podcast, and they have events during big car shows like Luftgekult or during Car Week and things like that. So yeah, it's a membership-based thing with a lot of great benefits for the members.
Yeah, my understanding is I think they're mostly, or at least they originated in the Pac Northwest.
Mm-hmm.
And though I think
Portland,
they have
Seattle.
branched out from there. So
They're just started in Denver.
Oh,
They're
rad.
also trying to build a presence in Bay Area and SoCal as well. Yeah.
Avant worldwide.
Yeah.
Frank, how about you?
Their format sounds familiar.
Yeah, what's that?
Like, thanks,
They're working on coming to the Bay Area, and then just crickets. Everyone's like
just
super like
described-
pale.
Roll
and
out the red
scared.
carpet, VJ.
I just described a conflict of interest.
I know, right? The door's right there.
HR is gonna call.
That's right. As far as what I'm up to this week is I get to go to the final Oakland Athletics game in Oakland tomorrow, which is quite sad. I grew up Battle of the Bay, Jose Canseco. I had the poster in my bedroom on the wall and going to the games, taking my son to a bunch of games when he was like 3 or 4. I think I took
Little Bash Brothers action?
Oh yeah, bro.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. And so, Ricky Henderson, the whole works. And so I was pretty into it. And then I was taking my kid. You know, he was like 3 or 4. I think we went to like 25 games in a season, and it all ends tomorrow. And it's sad for the Bay Area, for the city, for me personally. But I'm gonna go be part of it, and I think it's gonna be a disaster. I don't know.
Probably. I mean, can you give us a rundown of what happened? Because I know
Sure.
the owners are just apparently not on the same point level as the fans and.
No, I mean honestly, the Oakland Athletics ownership group, John Fisher and that whole group is the current ownership, and they've owned the A's since I want to say the early 2000s. I don't remember exactly when they bought it from the Haas family, but I almost inarguably the worst management in North American professional sports. And it's just I can go into it forever, but I won't. But the cliff notes are they wanted to build a new stadium. They're extremely deep pocketed, but they would rather take advantage of taxpayer money instead of paying for it, and then putting up a show and purposely putting a bad product out, purposely not doing anything to help out their fan base here, to the point where then they can go, oh look, we tried to do something in Oakland here, but we put a terrible product on the field, and so look, there's no fans at our stadium, so we have to go somewhere else. And so they're quote unquote moving to Las Vegas, although they've not broken any ground there. And the next at least 3 years they're planning on playing at the minor league park in Sacramento, where the River Cats play.
Have you been there?
I went there once I took my kid to a Savannah Bananas baseball game.
I did a night run there, and I was like, this is a pretty nice stadium.
It's a pretty nice stadium for like
Sacramento.
an 11,000 square foot.
Yeah.
Is that
or
a real
11,000
professional-
capacity.
Is that a real professional team? Savannah Bananas?
They're
Like
they're like the
minor
Harlem Globetrotters of baseball, effectively, is what the Savannah Bananas are. They have a guy on like literally 8-foot tall stilts pitching, and they have a third base coach where he just breakdances the whole game. It's a good time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of what I'm up to this week. That's what I'm doing tomorrow. It's the end of an era. It's kind of a sad chapter in the Bay Area because now Oakland has no more teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So
and
that's what I'm doing.
not only blaming ownership, but also the city of Oakland too. Is the politics in the city of Oakland over the years have been
It's been not good.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been conducive to having like
business.
an iconic sport, but big business, business, town business. But also, I don't think the city and county should be fitting the bill for a billionaire's plaything. Like they should be getting. They can finance their own thing. The Giants found a way to do it, and they got some incentives. They basically got the land tax free.
Yeah.
So they were incentivized there, but they found private money to build the actual stadium. And there's ways to do it. And they chose to take a multi-billion-dollar handout out of state, which
Did something similar happen to Golden Gate Fields? The arena, is that also shut down now?
No. They're
still there?
Still there, but I don't know. I think they're done racing.
my understanding is they were
Golden
closing
Gate
down,
done,
and
yeah,
it's
they're
getting
done
levels.
racing.
And there's
Yeah.
there's actually a massive, if you're interested, like I know your relatives worked in the kitchen there, right? Your uncle?
Yes.
There's like a
Back
big
way
auction.
back in the day.
There's like a super big auction, like of stuff.
Of everything.
Yeah. So if you guys are interested, I mean, that's.
Can I get like an
Yeah.
old clapped out horse?
They're
Just like-
figuring out. They're figuring out what to do.
Just like dog food quality horse, and just like take it home and
with
just
the
have a horse.
land. There's a single family
A
that
beater
owns
horse,
the
beater.
that
My
owns
daily
the
beater.
property. That they've had. There's been squabbles over the years with that land, and I believe what they're actually going to do is they're figured out who they're going to sell it to, and I think the state of California has their hand in that. So be interesting.
Yeah, I'm sure they get to. They get some say in who it goes to and what kind of tax implications are going to be there.
Yeah.
So they can guide that ship a bit.
Yeah. Well, the complicated part about that as well is because it straddles two cities, and when you have sewage, utilities, all that stuff in between two cities, and you want to develop it into something that it's not.
A horse track.
Yeah.
You just dump it in the bay. That's where sewage goes
It's
anyways.
It's gonna be a big ordeal. That's gonna be a horse racetrack for probably 15 more years.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
bare land.
Yeah. But as we were speaking about the A's,
Yeah.
I never really get starstruck on people. I've had the chance to meet, quite a few Bay Area celebrities.
Sure.
But let me tell you, I met Ricky Henderson one time, and I was starstruck. I was like, Dude, he was my hero as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Baller, like
Yeah.
absolute balled out. Like some of his stat, like stolen bases, all that stuff. Some of it will never,
Well,
never
we broke
be
it.
touched.
Well, we broke it.
Yeah, yeah, greatest leadoff hitter of all time, inarguably.
Sean, what about you? How's your week been?
Week's been good. So we got we were almost finished with the Z. We got everything wrapped up. We were actually in the midst of putting the linkage together today. Had that shipped over from Europe, and they shipped me basically a parts box because it was missing mostly everything in there.
That's why you got to overnight your parts from Japan.
Was it like stuff stolen out of it or something?
No, it looked like I might need this part. Let me grab it out of this box. Oh shoot! Because it was just random stuff that was missing out of there, but yet some of it was all of it was brand new.
Yeah.
So yeah,
The throttle linkage and stuff?
yeah.
I noticed that. I was looking at it today.
Yeah,
I saw
yeah.
there was some linkages missing.
Yeah. So instead of having it ready on Friday, this Friday we'll probably have it ready next Friday. So
Yeah, that's you've been waiting so long. It's might as well wait another week.
I know, but when you're right at the finish line, you're like, it's there, and then it's like it's the stupidest delays now.
Yeah.
So
It's gonna be little things for the next month, and
Yeah.
then it'll be perfect.
yeah,
When it's
yeah,
done.
yeah. And other than that, actually, the week's been pretty shitty. I mean,
Oh, boy. Wow.
Joe broke my mirror and my door, and aside from that,
Right.
Joe is 2 mirrors down on 2 different cars, and now a door.
Well, it's 3 things, right? So he's
That's
done
3
now.
things. Oh, he's done.
They come in 3s. That's how this works.
In my defense, that mirror is like a towel rack. All you gotta do is unscrew the screw and then screw it back on when the mirror's in. It's not broken. In fact, probably was better that I took it off.
No, took it off.
Other than the speed bump that took it off. I've been having nightmares about that every day. I want you to know that. I've been shot multiple times walking out of this warehouse from people that are like, I can't believe you. That kind of, it's been really bad. But anyway, my week's been good other than the nightmares. I did a brake job my dad did a brake job on the E28 when I was detailing on Monday. The brakes came from an E34. It's a common upgrade for non-M5 E28s that I had on my white car before it fell off a cliff. I took them off. They were had 100 miles on them. So I just
Wait, hold on. It just on its own fell off a cliff, or
No.
it was propelled off a cliff by its driver.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
there's a great difference.
yeah, the day before COVID locked everything down
He just
on a
spoke in
DWA rally.
Passive.
Yeah, I was
passive
driving.
voice.
I was driving really hard. I was way ahead of the crack. I was feeling good. I was surprised I was way ahead of the pack, and then I
red.
realized why I was way ahead of the pack. So that car is gone. But
You realized and looked down and there was no ground.
yeah, well, it was actually not
Exactly.
as dangerous.
Full road runner.
I was going pretty slow, and I kind of really slowly went down the hill, and it was like 20 foot.
Yeah.
20 foot hill. But
Devil
it didn't
slide.
the
Highway
car
1.
didn't get destroyed.
the car was
Like, I'm
dinged
good.
up on that side because it landed on its side.
Or like WRC Group E.
Yeah, we pushed it back. We turned it on. We did the whole rest of the rally. And in fact, I won tires from that rally because I did that, and they're still on the M5. But I love that car. But I every month I kept driving it. Like the center, like steering center, would get more and more kinked. We bent the A pillars were bent, and we rebent them with a tree and a rope. So we put the tree, and then we turned the car on, and we backed it up. And
That's like Jason Camisa, how he fixed that.
because the door wouldn't close.
Yeah.
So we got that working,
the
and we
Beat?
got a new windshield in
on
it.
a Hyundai Excel.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, the brakes are from an E34 540. They're like the exact same braking diameter in the front, but they're bigger in the back for M5. So it is kind of an upgrade. Kind of not. It just feels the same. I needed brakes, so this is what I had.
Nice.
Didn't oil change. I've just been driving it. I've really been enjoying it. We'll talk about it next week, but I really do think that's a car that is better when you don't drive it every day. If you kind of in a special occasion or drive it a few days a week, and you really appreciate the sounds and the experience of driving the car, because in traffic it's horrible. Like it's idling at 1,000 RPM. The clutch is bare, like it doesn't want to move. Like the engine is too high strung for it to like be
Sure.
like up and like that.
Yeah.
So it's really actually horrible.
I
I
actually
hate it in
liked
traffic.
it. I liked all those quirks and
Yeah, but if you
things like
if you
that.
use it as a daily driver, it's
Yeah.
absolutely bad. Like I hate it in traffic. Everywhere else is good though.
Yeah,
and
I
I love
used
the
it
car.
for like 3-4 days and I loved it like
Yeah,
that.
because it's 3-4 days.
Yeah.
After 4 days, you're like, I wish this car would just idle at normal RPMs, and I wish this wouldn't like be the throttle wasn't on and off the whole time. But I mean, I love the car, and it is what it is. I have other things that I want to talk about, but I don't think we need to get into the moon landing today.
No, it's too big because of how big the conspiracy is. It's
Yeah.
just too widespread.
Yeah.
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 So comment down below if you think the moon landing was fake, but I think it might have been. So we'll find out.
Are you
later.
are you a flat earther too?
No, but I love that. I love that theory because I love the people. I love listening to
The whole
theories.
whole marketing of Omega is false. Then
Yeah, exactly. I
They
was
can't
thinking-
sell watches anymore.
I was like, I can't believe an entire watch brand, huge Swiss watch brand, has been manufactured
built
on a lie.
on a
They
scam.
should come out and make, because they have like the moon and the pre-moon and all this stuff. They should just make one called the Flat Earth.
Wait, are
Edition?
they flat earthers?
Omega made a watch called the Speedmaster
Okay.
that allegedly was the first mechanical watch that went on the moon and did its
okay.
thing.
Okay.
That's their whole marketing.
That's
for
it.
that
That's
watch.
the entire market for the Speedmaster.
called
Like
the
it's
Moonwatch.
the moon watch.
Look at my watch. It's been on the moon.
Yeah, but yours hasn't. That's why it
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense. Like one of them has,
Right.
and then a
yeah.
whole
If
bunch of
it
G-Shocks.
has.
Yeah, if.
Allegedly. Yeah, it's been on a studio in
It's been-
Hollywood is where
I
it's
don't know.
been.
I thought it was funny because the Diddy stuff came up.
Yeah.
And then I was listening to podcasts about like, wow, this Diddy thing is so crazy. I wonder if he's going to get erased from the world in 2 years or whatever. And then he's like, and then all of a sudden, like, people are like, you know what? Like, I think the moon landing might have been fake. And I'm like, what? That's like a thing. And then I looked it up, and there's a whole Wikipedia article on it.
Oh yeah, no, it's one of the bigger.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because I feel like I'm not a conspiracy theory guy, but like, why? Like, what's the whole? I don't understand like the whole why anyone would fake the moon.
Why would the
landing?
government want to even?
And not even our government, like the rest of the globe is just like, oh yeah, like going along with it, right? Like the Russians were like, oh yeah, that fake moon landing, we'll just retire
Yeah,
from
it's like
chasing
not
the
like
moon.
that's
Like
like
I
a
don't.
big lob for the Russians to be like, oh, that's fake.
I think
We're
you
in-
get
we're
more
in full
credibility.
podcast mode now.
Like, you know,
Full
how,
podcast mode.
We said get Joe Rogan next.
Full on.
what if it was like, how much watch could your baby oil, how much baby oil could your watch take?
Ooh,
right?
that's good. Yeah, like
be
they
good.
measure
Maybe that's
it
the next
in like
podcast
Yeah,
topic.
they measure it in like cc's of baby oil instead of like depth rating, right? Not like 100 meters.
If you
It's like
just, like-
100 freak offs is like the
We
measurement.
just showed this whole clip as our podcast promo. It's gonna do more views than the entire channel.
I mean, 1,000 bottles of baby oil, you know.
Yeah.
That's it.
I saw a
That's it. You
reel.
guys need to just
That's a new
slowly talk about like Diddy and conspiracy theories and just morph it into like the Alex
And then
Jones
eventually it's like a
replacement,
government conspiracy
right?
Yeah.
podcast.
We've got some big news here, people. The globalists have gotten on their Diddy.
Yeah, I saw a reel of that 1,000 baby oil bottle thing, and like Johnson & Johnson is going to be like extremely
Crushed.
pissed off
Oh,
next
yeah.
year when the order doesn't come in.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, that's the week. Seems like they've been generally okay. I mean, nightmares and everything aside.
Oh, good.
Baby oil aside.
Yeah. Baby oil based nightmares.
So as Frank has mentioned, he works with Cars and Bids.
I do.
So I thought the
It's a good
marketplace
segue.
Yeah, exactly. That's how they want it. That's how my employers want that segue to go, straight from Diddy and baby oil and freak offs to the marketplace finds.
Ball
Yeah.
podcast for you. But I thought it'd be cool to make the marketplace finds specifically Cars and Bids. Just so we'll call it the Cars and Bids special.
Some fun stuff.
This week. So I wanted to recap 2 episodes ago when we talked about the ideal car to drive in the fall, and I just wanted to reference this one because this one just sold, and this is a great car for the fall. Open top, good for the Bay Area at least.
Yeah.
Open top, manual, fun sounds, slow and inexpensive. $6,000.
Yeah.
Gets you a really good experience for the
Wow.
fall. This
I
just
didn't-
sold like today.
I didn't think it would be this cheap. Wow.
Yeah, and another thing that I noticed is
Is this
are the same
running?
wheels as the BMW
Does it
wheels.
run and drive?
Yeah, it runs.
Yeah, it's a runner driver. These cars have they've never really been worth a lot. They've always been kind of like good good bang for your buck as far
Just
as
like 986s, right?
Yeah, I mean, and this one has a lot of like typical Italian
Sure.
issues, like the speedo doesn't work, the horn doesn't work, the radar doesn't work. But like, you don't need any of that stuff. You're
Yeah.
just driving a convertible in good weather. So I wanted to bring that out, and also has blue interior, which is fun.
Yeah.
And it's been recovered, which is nice.
Interesting.
Probably. I mean, allegedly, I would assume.
Yeah. That's cars and coffee on a budget.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's perfect. A perfect Bay Area car,
Yeah.
in my opinion. Six grand gets you a really good experience. And then just get rid of it in a year when it's extremely broken for a couple $1,000s less. You know?
Yeah, like it's cool. They kind of made them forever in different versions, right? You have the Graduate and 124 and like all these different, but like just it's okay. It's got some wear and tear, but like that makes it very usable. And like that seat back looks a little wonky and but it's Italian, right? Like you get to just like live with the embrace
the Dolce Vita.
The walkiness.
Yeah.
This is the condition you would want as a driver. Just
for sure.
Just get in it. You don't care if it's dirty. Just drive it and then put it back wet and it doesn't.
What do you,
park it behind your
Orange BRZ.
BRZ.
your BRZ or 86.
What kind of music are you listening to in that? With the top down.
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm probably some Duran Duran.
There you go. Yeah.
Duran.
Yeah, Hungry Like a Wolf.
Hungry like a wolf.
Yeah.
I'll sing a little Billy Joel.
Oh, you can do that. Some Piano Man.
The only reason why I'm saying this is because my dad was such a huge fan and is still a huge fan. But I would be listening to like something like Red Barchetta from like Rush or something.
That's amore.
Okay.
Because like I
see
feel
that.
like this is pretty like obviously this is like the budget version of what they were singing about, but like I feel like
This is such a good tinkerer's car. That's
Yeah.
like not like a muscle car, and it isn't. That just kind of flies under the radar. It never stands out, which is kind of a good way, right? Like you can take any cars and coffee and kind of fly under the radar, but people who know, and it's always cool. It'll never be kind of frowned upon,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I like it.
All right, so Frank, why don't you walk us through your 3 selections here for the marketplace?
And so I kind of went scattershot here. So check this one out. For humans that are like deep in the woods on car YouTuber stuff, would maybe recognize this car. So this is one that, and I don't remember which of the homies from Throttle House, which one this was. You got James and shoot, help me out here. Thomas, thank you.
There you go.
Yeah, so this is one of their cars that they did. They did a whole road trip, did a whole series with this car, and they have another one which is an like a proper AE86 Corolla with a 20 valve swap and stuff, and that one's going to sell for more money. But I think this is a more interesting car. I love the interiors.
Yeah, the interior.
And like it's so dope. The interior on this, it's not going to go for $1 billion, I don't think, even with all the YouTuber cred that's going to go along with it.
So rad.
But like it's just, these are just fun little tossable things, and this one will probably go for more money than it's worth because of the YouTuber tie-in. But just what a cool little thing. Like this is exactly like if I think about like what cars should be selling in an enthusiast marketplace, it's a car like this.
Yeah.
Like it's
Cheap thrills.
cheap thrills. I much prefer seeing something like this on Cars and Bids personally than like here's a 991 with delivery miles on it, right? Like that's cool and all, and that car will sell for a bunch of money, but like this, it really captures like the
Look at
That's
it in
Doug.
the forest.
right. Yeah, it's kind of that the whole Dougism thing, right?
Yeah.
But it's also like it's just when I think of like a cool enthusiast car, like this is kind of almost the poster child of it. And I've never owned an A1 chassis Volkswagen. In fact, I've never owned a Volkswagen.
Same here.
I've owned an I had a couple of 924,
that's a
right, which is
Volkswagen.
Volkswagen adjacent.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, do you guys have any experience with one of these?
I've driven one of these.
Yeah.
Have you ever been
It's the easy a Mark 1 GTI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it Dean's?
No, I drove James. Yeah, it's the easiest car that I've ever driven. Like it's so easygoing and just.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like it was built to be like the approachable.
Just get in and go. Like so
It's a
non-intimidating. Like I had a friend with me that day who is not super comfortable with manual, and he got in and got going super easily in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a easy car to get in and have fun.
You have to imagine it's the easiest clutch in the world, and
Yeah, it's so
gear
forgiving.
changes are
and
easy.
everything's good.
And if you look on, you pop the hood of one of these things, it's like yeah, it's Bosch CIS, which is kind of a bear. But generally speaking, you look at that engine bay and it's like, oh, I can sneeze and like accidentally do the timing belt. Like they're so easy and basic. You know, yeah, okay, vacuum lines aside, but
Yeah, but you can't get rid of those. It's just how it goes.
yeah,
in
it's
the
part
80s.
of the deal. Like,
Rusty. Okay.
yeah, I think this was a Canadian. I think it's a Canadian market car.
Yeah.
because the homies are in Canada. Looks like the radiator's been done. I like the humongous zip tie holding the battery on. That's
yeah.
but that's like part of the like that's what these cars are.
Yeah.
And they were like this forever.
There's a lot of zip ties in there.
Yeah,
Bunch of
the
build-
underside looks really good though. Check
Zip
that out.
ties, hopes, and
not bad.
dreams.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a
I've never
little
driven
dust.
one. I've cleaned up Ian's for Radwood, and
Yeah.
I've always wanted to drive it. But when I did that for him, it wasn't running well
Wow.
at all.
Sure.
Look at the patina on the books.
yeah.
That's cool. Yeah.
Like I love that stuff. It's good.
Open constantly. Yeah, I've always wanted one of these, and at some point, maybe if Ian sells this, I'll try to. But he doesn't sound like he says he's never selling it, so that is it's a good testament to these cars. I do think this should go for money. I think these are actually are underpriced.
Yeah, what's funny is these. It's like if it's say this condition, I think they generally go for probably a little bit less than they should. But then like a perfect one goes for like stupid money. And
Yeah,
I
like
just
collector
It
grade
kind of in my mind, it kind of what we were just talking about. Like it kind of goes against the purpose of this car.
car.
I've
Yeah,
seen
it
like
does.
it's
good one.
buy a
go for,
museum
like
piece, like,
22
what's the
grand
point?
or something.
Yeah, I would never
Yeah.
buy this for 22 grand. Yeah, there's so many other cars I would buy for 22 grand.
yeah. What a cool thing though.
One of those cars is this one. I would spend 22 grand on this.
Diablos, man, they're just so cool.
22 grand.
Why is this floating in the space? Like,
Well, yeah, like that's
Don't worry
VJ. VJ, let's have a photographer's moment here.
Yeah.
Are you team white void or are you team shoot a car in its element, kind of more like that GTI was?
I want to see it in a real environment, not
I'm the same
necessarily
way.
in a
I'm
studio.
exactly the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
Like I want to, I like the quote unquote sell the dream, right? Like nobody pictures like, oh yeah, I can totally picture myself in
Yeah.
a Diablo in a white void.
Yeah,
like
it's-
that's
and,
not
Like,
what.
I don't really believe in doing stuff like light painting and like super fancy stuff for sale listings. But like
yeah, maybe
that-
for like one image or
for
two
the
for
hero
it,
shot
right?
for sure.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't put like all these fancy bat premium shots where they have like 100 light painting images and like
Right.
Do these
yeah.
normally have wings?
No, I think the earlier ones didn't have wings
No,
or they were
later ones
optional.
This
did.
is interesting.
This
Without,
is a 90.
yeah, this
I
is
think it's a
cool.
91 or a 92.
Yeah.
It's a 92.
Exhaust is super crooked.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's factory. I
Yeah.
think that's
No,
aftermarket.
that's definitely aftermarket. Yeah.
this has some Countach look to the rear of it.
God, but
Yeah.
like just how I don't. It's like I like Countages. I think Countages are great. I think those will always be just special works of art. Like for me as a kid, though, this was more of my poster child.
Yeah, I have a
poster.
I have a
poster
model of
car.
this car.
Yeah,
not
like-
not this color, but
I had a
this
yellow
car.
one. I had a yellow,
Yeah, yeah,
whatever the Maisto, whatever scale that is, 124 scale or whatever.
Probably the same one.
Yeah, these are way cooler than Countach.
Yeah.
I just-
the only problem is the Chrysler interior stuff, right? I mean, that's the biggest issue.
Well, I mean, Lamborghini, I think, changed hands like 4 times during the production run of this car because there was Lamborghini, and then they were owned by like Megatech or some random like I want to say they were like a company out of Indonesia or something, and then yeah, Chrysler was involved, and they actually probably made it better, comparatively, anyways. But these early Vipers are still like not. They don't go for a
You
mountain
called
of
it
money.
a Viper?
Did I Viper? What the hell? also a poster.
Brought to you
poster
by
car.
Viper Beer.
I know the Viper beers, kick it in. No,
Plugs.
but it's just these are very, very cool. We'll see what this one does. But a red Viper, like, what was it like? Think of all the stuff in the '90s and early 2000s that this was in, like Jamiroquai music videos.
Oh, this is definitely an
Yeah.
iconic experience.
all the Need for Speed games.
Yeah.
Trading
You
cards,
had-
trump cards, and all those things.
Yeah, Dumb and Dumber. Like this car was in everything.
Everything, yeah. It's
And-
it's funny, like when you pop the hood on one of these and you look at the engine bay and you just look at the hand welds and hand.
Oh yeah, dude.
it's like oh
This
my
was like kit
God.
car era.
It's Italian flair. That's
Yeah,
how.
engine is like half the car, more than half the car. like
Yeah.
so
Oh
much
yeah.
engine.
Just absolute,
It's so much
absolutely
engine.
massive.
I'm sure none of these manifolds ever fit other cars. It's like made just for this car.
But yeah, if I found a bag of money, I think a Diablo would
look
just be
cool.
so damn cool.
Distributor.
Look at that.
And,
oh my God.
and this one
There's a lot
specifically,
of
I don't know
clamshell.
enough. I don't know enough about these cars to know if this one's like a great example or not. But just looking at it and seeing it, and sort of being involved with it. Like I've talked to the seller a little bit on this car, So part of what I do at Cars and Bids is I'm part of the business development team. So I am effectively like a sort of like a liaison, might not be the right term, but I'm talking to a lot of sellers that have some cool stuff and are bringing them to market. And I help them like, hey man, like, you know, somebody's in the comments talking about this, you can address it this way. Or if they come to me and say, hey, you know, I got to get this car to market in like 4 days because this, you know, I didn't have any time to sell it, but now I have to get it sold yesterday. Can you help? And stuff like that, right? Just being, having a lot of online platforms, they just like, if you go to sell on there, like you send a message and there's no one human to ever get a hold of. And so it's like, if this guy with this Diablo is like, I need a human to talk to, they talk to me or they text me or they send me the 2 a.m. you up girl text message about whatever, about this car or the next car.
Like a car therapist.
Bro, that's what I am. I am. And guess what? I have a psychology degree. So this works out quite well.
Full circle for you.
Yeah. And so there's me, there's a few other members on our business development team, and that's what we're doing. And like I tell people, it's like I'm talking to people about dope cars all day long. And like how they should approach it. Right. And like how this guy should approach selling this car and how, you know, what the next one's going to be. And just, you know, it's pretty rad. And so getting to see stuff like this is really cool. And because like, if I think back to my childhood, right? Me in 1992, I was 9. I was 8. I was 9. Like, did I ever think I'd be talking to someone about them selling their Diablo? Hell no. Like, you know how cool that is? It's dope. And so that's why I picked this car, because it's like this. It's really cool, but it's like this is like my. I don't think I will ever own a Diablo. But damn it, like if I can be Diablo adjacent. Which is kind of my interaction with this car, even from afar. Like that's kind of a cool thing. So I'm Team Diablo. You got Team Countach or Team Diablo? Where are you going?
I think honestly, if I'm picking Countach or Diablo, I think in terms of if I would never buy a Lamborghini, to be honest.
Sure.
But if I'm picking between those two, I think I would pick this one because I feel like it's probably more drivable. Right? I would assume it's a little bit more drivable.
I think that's the rub, but like. I don't know if drivable really is in the conversation, honestly.
Okay, yeah. I guess feel like the Countach is a little bit more like fire-y, like possibly on fire, and this is a little bit more like it's just broken down-y, and I'm more into the broken down-y than the fiery stuff. But I don't know. I would pick. What about you guys? What are you picking?
Yeah, I'd pick the Countach because they're both like extremely outrageously exorbitant sort of styling. So if that's the case, I'll just take the Countach because it introduced that whole language.
Yeah. The Countach, I think, is, if I'm being honest with myself, I think the Countach is a more special thing.
Yeah.
And it's more of a statement.
Yeah, I actually like the pure first introduced.
Yeah, the
Countach
early,
without
the
without
LP400s,
the pure
Periscopio.
without wings, too many wings. Yeah.
Periscopio, whatever the thing is the best thing ever.
Yeah, that's so pure.
love
Periscopo, Monoscopio. I'm mixing up my
something Italian with a P.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, if I can't get a, I couldn't get a Mercy.
You could go Mercy.
Can I go Mercy?
You could go Mercy.
Yeah.
Too soft, too Audi.
It's too Audi. Yeah, but Volkswagen owned them at that time.
point,
yeah.
Okay, never mind. Then I have,
they pushed
then I
that
have to
into
go Diablo.
Yeah.
Diablo?
Yeah.
I could see you in a Diablo. I could see you buying one. I could see you actually buying a Diablo at some point in your life.
Yeah.
A yellow one.
They've actually grown on me. The more I see them,
they are something that if you look at,
presence.
they do have a good presence.
You should get a purple one.
Yeah.
Go full JK. From Jamiroquai. He's got that purple one. That's right. The purple 6.0 SE. I think that's what it was.
And then the last one, and fun fact about this car, I'm actually heavily considering bidding on this car.
Bro,
all of my car friends have K cars except me, and it makes me feel like I'm
do it now live on the pod.
As well?
Yeah.
So let me while you're considering placing a bid, I'll tell y'all what this is. So this is a 1999 Honda. We call it Z. I believe they called it Z. UM4. So this was the original. Do you guys know what the original Honda like Z was? The old one from like the 70s, like K car 360cc,
tiny thing, right?
Tiny little coupe with the shifter in the dash. This was them trying to relive that glory day. So this is a K car. This was built, I believe. So this is the first year, 1999. So you can finally import them now. And I believe these were made, I think, till like 04 or 05. They're based on the Honda Acti chassis, so truck and van. And so it's got a 3-cylinder mid-engine. So it's like basically under the rear seat.
Oh, okay.
They made an NA and a turbo. This is an NA. It's not a turbo, but the turbo I think got you like 11 whole extra horsepower. Yeah. They're all automatic, which is a little bit of a bummer.
That sucks, yeah.
But they're so like the styling is crazy. They're four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. They're real-time all-wheel drive, and just they're so rad looking. They're
the
cheap.
side profile is just super nice.
Yeah, and it's all like K-car dimensions. It's kind of hard to get a sense, like
Even
a
the
read on
interior
the
is
dimensions
really
here.
pretty. Like I like the steering wheel a lot.
Yeah, that like weird two-spoke steering wheel.
Yeah, the two-spoke steering wheel is fun. The fake wood is like just like pretend middle class enough to make it feel like you might be going somewhere in life, kind of thing. Like,
And yeah, and right, exactly, real upscale for 1999.
Yeah.
And what is really interesting, and the kicker is, so when they launched these cars in Japan, they commissioned ZZ Top with all their guitar spinning and long-haired rock and roll-age
Not
from the
guy
70s
you
to 80s.
associate with this.
They made a song. They made them make a song and a commercial, which you might be. I don't know if you'll get. I don't know if who owns the copyright to that.
we won't get audio, but I could show you like a second of a.
Yes, which is ZZ Top on the Z.
Oh.
Though, and so they made their ZZ Top, and they're jamming out. They did a whole thing. Oh, they when they're singing it, they call it the Z, which then makes me think: is the ZZ Top considering themselves ZZ Top, or not? Like I don't know. But yeah, they did a whole thing.
And they're like the last people I would associate with this car.
Right?
That's
With
so
a
funny.
Japanese K car, like the absolute. But
Cut
they're
the
just
check.
so cool.
Cut the check.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure. There's a whole rabbit hole you can go down on
yeah.
Japanese car ads from the 90s with American stars in them.
In their heyday, too.
In their heyday. Oh, yeah, dude, there's Eddie Murphy doing a bunch for the new Celica. He's like, new Celica. And he's like jumping around and like speaking terrible Japanese.
Yeah, I can just imagine the money that was
Yeah.
being like just dumped into their laps. For
Yeah,
that.
oh, for
Arnold
sure.
Schwarzenegger was hawking a bunch of stuff over there.
Yeah, and that's when like Japan was having its like huge economic boom.
Yeah, 90s
so they were
Japan
just,
was
oh yeah, dude.
living in 2010.
Absolutely. And then look at this thing. Like very, very cool. Joe, you should place a competitive bid.
Yeah,
I think
so
that's
I will be bidding on this live on the podcast because all of my friends have K cars and I don't.
Do it.
I might
Do
lose
it.
still.
and
But I
this is in like Ceres, California, which is not that far from
Yeah,
here.
it's
This
LA,
is
right?
Ceres.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's in Ceres.
So I
no,
wanna
it's not
point
even
out-
LA. It's like an
No,
hour and a
Ceres
half from
is
here.
like Modesto.
Yeah, it's like south of
The town
Modesto.
Oh,
before-
really?
The town before Modesto.
Hey, you were
Ceres.
outbid on my 924.
Yeah, so I want to make the record straight. I was bidding on Frank's 924 and was outbid twice and lost.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to redeem myself here a little bit.
I
so
know.
will be
I was
bidding-
hoping you. I honestly I was hoping you were going to win my 924
Yeah,
because it was a
I
good
did too.
car, and I know
Gotta
you
put your
wanted
foot
it.
down, Joe.
Well,
Don't
so
be
this
bidding no bullshit.
12,000.
I'm bidding-
1750.
this is I
you
think
go
it's-
hard, bro.
I don't think it's worth much.
$10,000.
12,750.
The car has 51 horsepower. What I'm going to bid is 1,851.
It's a start. I'm not gonna.
I really hope
You
this
should go like-
information.
I'm just happy you're participating.
There you
Okay.
go.
That's right, baby.
I'll
I'm the
send you a
winner.
participation
I'm the
trophy when you
current
don't win
winner.
it. Joe
Good job, Joe.
Otadi. Look at that.
Anyway, yeah. So I really actually I am considering
It's
like,
cool.
bidding on this car. The fact that it's
I so
thought
wish they
Sarah's
made
was
manuals.
farther away. So if it's just like a Highway 4 drive home, it's like that's not bad.
Dude, you're gonna die.
You can drive that thing. You can drive that thing. You can
Highway
surface
4?
street it. Honestly, you can avoid highways and get it here if you
Yeah.
wanted
I'll go through Byron or something. I mean, I'll probably lose, but I will be bidding more than just this. Hopefully, I don't know. I'll probably go for like four or five.
I'm just waiting for right now live. You get outbid,
Yeah.
so then you're like guilted into bidding again.
Yeah, no, that's not happening. We're gonna close it before we do that.
Whatever.
But anyway,
Not gonna do the 69 bid and just nail that win down. All right,
yeah.
fine.
So that brings us into the member Discord finds. So if you don't know about this, we have a Discord for members and we have a marketplace finds section. We choose 2 every week that are interesting. I think both of these are actually interesting this time and not like pieces of crap. Sometimes they're pieces of crap, like that pool table van that we found
yeah.
last week. I got silence from that. I brought it up, nothing, not even a laugh.
Whoa.
But so this is, and I said I think Jake showed this one off. This is the
So
one.
cool.
And it's only $19.
Yeah, this is really a good price.
Yeah.
This one I think
Tiburon
has
huh?
been to multiple Cars and Cultures, and if I'm correct, I do think this is the one that was owned by Pixar.
No other car does that 3/4 wheel turn better than this one.
Right?
Yeah. Look how tiny
Front
it is.
3/4 like, wheel turn.
It's a cool car. It's
Look
really
Look at it
hard to.
parked next to the American.
I know,
it's
right?
really hard to want to own something like this.
So ridiculous.
Yeah.
And that was
But-
as small as an American car got in the 50s. Although that's a, I can't tell what year
Corvette,
that is.
C1?
Yeah. It's a C1. It might be a 61.
19,000 is not bad for an Isetta, right? And it doesn't seem
I
like
honestly,
it's
I don't know.
Not bad.
Not up on my Izetta
yeah, I don't know.
knowledge.
But this is really cool. Jake, thanks for putting that in the Discord. This has been a staple in the Bay Area car community for a while. I mean, like this thing goes to everything. So it'll be sad to see it go.
Somebody local's got to buy it. It's got to
Right.
stay here in the
I
Bay.
think probably that'll happen. Hopefully, it's a Marin car.
Fly in, drive it home to
cutie.
Maine.
Yeah, 2,600 miles, which is probably like 2 million.
I
or
like the
something.
fact that he
Actually-
said, if the selling price is met, you may get like the extra parts I have.
Yeah.
What the hell else are you gonna do with those extra parts?
You might include, what you have like multiple Isettas or something. Like they're probably worthless anyway. It's an Isetta.
You never know. I feel like Izetta owner is the guy that you don't own one Izetta. Like you own 7
I think this guy
Izettas.
actually owns like 2 or 3 of them.
Like you have to. Like you just, it's not like you don't have the room.
yeah,
you can have
that's true.
7. It
You
takes
could
the space of
you could
one
probably fit,
Suburban.
Like 30 of them in here.
Yeah. That's a pro move to just be, I thought about it like just like being
When
like
you
a
open
seller
the-
of only like
You
K
open
cars
that
and stuff.
cupboard, it's gonna fall off. Like
Exactly.
5 of them are gonna fall off.
I like driving quirky stuff, but that's where I may draw my limit.
Yeah, it's not really driving. You have to kind of
I would've,
around town.
I would have bought it if it was a limousine version of the Ascent.
Yeah, if it was
Yeah,
600.
those are dope.
Yeah.
Back doors.
And then this is also a BMW, I believe. I think Jackson sent this one. This is just run-of-the-mill E39 540. It has a manual transmission though, which is cool. And for $9,000, you're getting a lot of car for the money.
This is a V8, right?
Yeah, it's a V8. So you're not getting the M5 experience, but you're getting a really good GT cruising car. These photos make me scared. They've been edited to make it look like the car is really clean. So I would probably definitely take a good gander at it before buying it. But a 98 will mean that it doesn't have the crazy Vanos issues.
Right.
So this is the one you want. If you want a 540, this is the one you want.
Yeah, it's funny too because I feel like the pre-facelift cars don't pull the same amount of money,
No, it's just hilarious.
and they're
You
just a
think they
better.
would.
They're
Yeah,
good. They're just such a good buy. Although those aren't the original headlights, are they? Those headlights
No
have been
way.
replaced?
No, this is definitely aftermarket headlights.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would immediately, if this was my car, I would
Change it
immediately
back to
replace
stock.
these. Yeah, change
And
it
I
back
would
to
just,
stock.
it's probably fine, but I would poke around the front end and make sure that somebody didn't stuff the front end, and that's why those headlights got replaced.
Yeah.
If the radiator support's been all bent back into shape and somebody
Yeah,
just
because
slugs
these
them.
are this is the correct taillights.
Correct,
With,
yeah.
with the amber turns, full amber turns. It's a cool car. I like the 540s, but if you've driven an M5, it's really hard to get into a 540 and
Yeah.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
So I
steering
can't,
is-
like, I just cannot. I can't.
The steering is looking so old.
Yeah, this is like
the old
a
style
business,
steering wheel.
late 90s businessman. You're going to your accountant job car. Like, there's nothing else. It's not supposed to be sporty. It's supposed to be like kind of fun. If you like are angry and had a bad day, you could like drop a gear and go for
Yeah.
it, But it has 280 horsepower. It's not that bad. It sounds good though. But those are the Discord finds.
What's the horsepower bump in the M5?
395.
Oh man,
Yeah.
The fun fact about those cars is they really this is a stupid nerdy thing, but like E39 M5s for some reason really cared about their running in mileage. So if you didn't run them in correctly, you lose like 70 wheel horsepower. So like there are some E39s that are dynoing stock at like 320.
Damn.
And then there's some that are dynoing at like 350, 360, which is for
Weird.
drivetrain loss. Yeah, it's crazy. So you could tell if you've gotten a good one based off of that. What my dad said, which is someone that like you would definitely trust in the E39 world, it's like all running in mileage stuff. So if they're not like if you're bouncing off the red line at 200 miles, like you're messing up the power or something.
Interesting. Like I wonder what the driving factor is. It's like
I think it was just a QA issue. I think they probably just had something that was a little bit too loose, and like there was some sort of
what?
QA
like
quality.
somehow the rings don't seat just right, so they're just letting off a little bit of extra blow by, and
Yeah,
it doesn't
and
cause
the rings were never like 2000s had crazy ring issues for S62s.
Right,
that burn
Nickel,
oil.
right.
But you would also get more torque out of the 2000s because of that. It was like all these really weird, quirky things that my dad knows that probably no one else in the universe knows.
fucking
That
BMW
you
people,
get the
man.
exact because my dad's like, you want a 2000, but all the 2000s are cheaper. But it's like, no, you want the 2000 because it burns a little oil, but you're gaining more torque. and it's a better whatever, all this stuff, and so it's kind of fun. It's fun to talk to them about E39s. But yeah, so if you are a member of Valt and you're not part of the Discord, link down in the description. It's free to join if you're a member, and it's a lot of fun. There's marketplace finds all over the place. So
I'm gonna have to drop some
you
straight nonsense.
Please, yeah, the more the merrier. The more cars, the merrier. All right, so we had a tiny car show. If you can't tell from the K car behind me, it's still a little bit messy in here, but I'm sure you don't see that with the cameras. But we just had a tiny car show like 4 or 5 days ago. Everyone was here. You brought your photo booth,
Yeah. I
did.
which is the sandbar.
So yeah,
You
you
brought-
brought one sandbar.
You mean this is your spot? So you had cars all over the place.
cars,
You brought
yeah.
your beat, and I brought myself.
So the first time I showed any of my cars at any show.
Wow.
Yeah. So who wants to say? Actually, Sean, I think this would be good for you. What is the tiny car show, and how did it start?
Okay, cool. So to give you a little backstory on the, I don't fucking know, dude. Well, I'm sure it always starts here with some drinks and a conversation about, oh man, a tiny show, car show sounds like a great idea. No, but I think we got with Todd, who has was it the tiny fire truck?
Yep.
And I think it started with just a
Kiri.
conversation of wanting to put some Bay Area K cars together. And we offered up our spot here, and man, the rest is history. So we're like, what, 3 years in to the Tiny Car Show? Yeah, this is our third one, and I have to say it's probably one of the best shows that we have all year. It gets really festive here in the warehouse with food, music. We park a whole bunch of cars in here, get a great crowd of people. Not only that, but also meet some great people too. Some local K car owners and inspire new K car owners, which is cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a fun show.
In fact, a lot of our members have K cars and became members specifically for the tiny car show.
Yeah.
So cool.
So I mean, like the place really transforms like during the event. This year we had a lot of extra time, Sean and I, before the event started, so we were able to place cars that we knew we were staying the whole time in really interesting spots. So it was a lot of fun staging everything and cleaning up everything. But yeah, it really started because you bought this, and then Todd said, you know, it'd be funny if you had if you shoved as many K cars in here as possible and we made it a show.
Yeah.
And then we were like, oh, we should just do this like
Hell
every
yeah.
year.
We
And-
probably had the most K cars in here than we've
Oh
ever
yeah,
had.
for sure. At
It's
least there was
inside
at least
and
like
outside
what
is
10 or
my
12, right? And it was mostly K cars. Usually it's like K cars, and then there's an Isetta or two, and like there's a
Right.
couple of like interesting,
Yeah.
like, you know. But this was like
OG minis.
heavily K. It was
Yeah.
like almost all K car, which
Yeah.
makes sense, I guess. But
I mean, how many beats?
4, 3, 4,
At
Four.
least
I
four.
counted
almost
it
every
at
color,
least
right?
four.
It was
Yeah.
almost every color but one or something like that.
Yeah, silver, yellow, red, and a greenish limited edition one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they did like there's like one impossible to find blue that wasn't in
Yeah,
attendance.
the Honda blue, right? That like,
Yeah.
or I guess
Yep.
it's the Honda, but
Yeah.
like that.
Last
like
year,
Civic blue.
Kamisa brought his white one.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, having two AutoZams here,
right.
yeah, was cool. So you rarely see those together, with the exception of maybe Monterey Car Week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Joe's going to bring his that he's going to buy off Cars and Bids.
Yeah, hopefully we'll
the-
see. I
the
mean,
Honda
like,
Zed.
I kind of there's one on Facebook Marketplace as well. That's a turbo. That's a price that I'm wanting to bid under for this one.
By the
So,
way,
yeah.
Cars and Bids alum.
Oh yeah, the AutoZam. That's
AutoZam,
right.
yeah.
Yeah. that did come from there.
Nice.
And yeah,
dude.
K cars. I came away from that show wanting another K car, which is, to be fair, I always want some other car of some kind. My automotive eye is always roaming, and looking for something to buy. I would love another K car.
Yeah.
Because my van is fine, but it's not like a good driver because it's, I don't know, a freaking photo booth. And it's a Sandbar K van, so it's not like the greatest
Yeah.
on-road piece of machinery. But I would love like an Alto Works, or there's so many, you know, even like a Minica or a any of the ABC cars, obviously. So there's a lot of cool stuff.
If a K car was featured on Pit My Ride, it would be
Yes.
yours.
There you
It
go.
would, it would definitely. Yeah.
It is up.
Yeah, I think your photo. I mean, it always is a hit, but it seemed like it was a particularly large hit this time because I think you guys ran out of paper, right? Didn't you have to like restock? the photo
No,
prints?
somebody was a little ham-fisted with the printer, so I just had to
God.
like pat it on the head and massage it a little bit.
I was
and it was okay.
because I was like, oh god, what happened? Did we run out of paper, or did like they just break something? You know?
No, it's okay. It's all pretty hardy. You just got to be.
He actually pretty customized this pretty well with the Valt logo and the date.
Yeah, Ali was freaking out about that because she's like,
That was
last
so
time there
cool.
wasn't a Vault logo. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure there was. And she's like, no, I remember. I don't.
It's
I'm
on
like,
the
"Okay."
fridge right now.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she was very excited about that.
Yeah.
Cool. No, it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
I always look forward to that, taking a photo. Last year I got one from that. So
There you
it's
go.
cool.
Yeah.
And I'm also super glad that I showed a car for the first time because I learned 3 big things about my car which I did not know
Oh.
from the other Beat owners. So I did not know my
Beat
car
gang.
had zebra seats and I wanted to buy zebra seats to put in it. But someone showed me that my seats were covered in leather covers, which were like super snug underneath, and they just removed it and showed I actually do have.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. What a
Nice.
bonus.
My life was a lie.
Upgrade.
So basically, I was living under the impression, under the sadness that I never will have zebra print seats, but I actually do have them underneath.
Nice.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and now I might sell the seat covers to the guy who showed it to me. So that's what-
Okay.
Yeah, and then I also found out that I could fit a Prius battery in the back of the Beat
Mm-hmm.
instead of the normal battery, which I could not find a replacement for.
Yeah, because they got the little skinny posts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Prius battery fits perfectly, which I found out.
That's right.
And I also found out there's a pin that I can attach the floor mats to, so that they don't like slide over
Bunch
and
up.
then get the accelerator stuck like a Cybertruck. But
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
yeah, that's a
force
car. I
the
mean, it will
accelerator
take a
now.
long time to get to a dangerous speed,
yeah,
but also not really because like 11 miles an hour in any K car
yeah,
is like
yeah.
white knuckle.
you
Yeah,
could overtake a pedestrian. Yeah, so yeah.
fantastic.
So that's 3 big things I learned about my car.
Also want to say a special thank you to Mike at Maybell Commodities who had the drinks
Yes.
and everything.
Oh,
we
yeah.
like Mike.
Everyone seemed like they had a good time with that, and
Yeah.
everyone was responsible, which is great.
Yeah.
So
And
The
thank you
food
for
was
all
nice.
the content creators who not only came to the show but also shared the video. So.
yeah, and if you're watching this and we haven't like reposted something of yours, just retag us because we have a lot of there's a lot of things being reposted right now.
Yeah.
So I might have just missed it.
Yeah,
We
check-
repost everything that you guys
Check
post,
out
so.
Jerms DNA.
Jerm.
Yeah, Jeremy.
At
Jerms DNA.
JERMS
Yeah.
DNA.
We'll throw that link in the
he's
description.
got some
Yeah.
some cool video.
Yeah,
out.
the link will be the third link in the description will be Jeremy's video for the
And I would say hat tip to Todd,
Yes.
Yeah.
who was slanging some excellent
Curry.
curry.
Yep.
Yep. I took some home. My 7-year-old really enjoyed it. So
Yeah, without Todd, this event wouldn't happen. So,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, absolutely. He's
yeah.
the goat.
Todd and what it's the K Car and Garden Club. K and Garden Club.
NorCal K and
Yeah,
Garden
NorCal
Club.
K and Garden Club. So yeah, shout out to everybody that was here. We'll do it again next year. It's one like we said, it's one of our favorite events, and I wish we could do more things like it.
Yeah,
in here.
it's just
It's just that if you do anything other than K cars in here, you put 2 cars in here, and then the
It's
show's
done,
over.
yeah.
So it's really hard to do that. But yeah, comment down below if you have any suggestions. Anything other than K cars, we would love to do more culture shows like this.
Yeah.
There was so much fun to put on.
Yeah.
Especially in small events like this. I like.
Small events I prefer. I mean, anyone could just go into Alameda and host the 2,000 cars and coffee, but like it really takes someone different to want to host 20 cars
Yeah.
and make it something special.
You know what could be good? Could be good? A K car takeover. Imagine just locking down
Just
the
go to
Bay
Hayward,
Bridge
yeah.
and
Yeah,
just
park.
swinging
Just
donuts in
swinging
K cars. Only K cars.
That'd be
Yeah.
good. That'd be good,
Shutdowns
yeah.
and takeovers and K
Yeah.
cars. Let's go.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that in January.
It would be safer,
New
when
Year.
people get hit by, freaking
They
Yeah,
wouldn't
they
die.
just like
Camaros, they wouldn't die.
They probably wouldn't die.
Cars
Yeah,
would get totaled, not the people.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
cars would be, yeah.
Somebody just like mad in truck sticking a K car.
Yeah.
Great.
Anything
stick.
else on the Tiny Car Show before we go into the scenario for the week?
That's it.
Everyone needs more K cars.
Yeah, we do, and hopefully, maybe by the time you're listening to this, I'm still the winner of the
Let's go.
whatever the Honda Z. I don't know what it is. I fell for that steering wheel. I don't know why, but I really like the
Cool.
steering
There's
wheel.
it's a good, it's
I
a
like
cool machine.
stupid steering wheels, and this
Dude,
one has an
think-
airbag,
dude,
so I can't
think
get
it's
shot
the
on.
inner JDM in you now. I'm telling you, it's coming out.
I just really, really want something I don't have to care about that much, and I feel like K car is probably one of those cars.
You actually have to really care about it because if something goes wrong with it, you're worried about where the parts are going to come from.
Well, at that point, I would just,
Like-
I would just
Push it
insure
into the
fraud
bay.
And nothing will make you drive more defensively in your life.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, 50 horsepower. I can only imagine when that thing is like on the highway.
It's the Olympics of defensive driving. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So maybe one day we'll see. But having said that, we're still on the Tiny Car Show. So the scenario is that you're all going, which I'm assuming you will be anyway, going to the Tony Car Show in 2025. But you decide you want to rebel and bring an antithesis to the event.
Yeah.
So you're bringing a massive car to the Tony Car Show. So what car are you bringing and why? VJ, you're bringing
Aston Martin Lagonda with all the buttons.
What a machine.
Aston Martin Lagonda.
Yeah, this is simultaneously the world's ugliest and coolest car ever made.
Hey, who's that guy? Look at
It's
that.
like all 19 feet of it.
This is a good photo. We'll go keep it as photo.
Yeah.
This is the almost the perfect antithesis of K car.
Yep.
It's the anteater.
Total, yeah.
Look at that thing.
Yeah, it is. It's the total full opulence, wealth for no reason.
Yep.
Like just mustache,
Excessive
Hitler
for being
mustache and
excessive.
everything.
More buttons than all the K cars ever made.
Yeah, yeah.
Put together.
So absurd.
Yeah.
No, that's not
Oh,
it.
Yeah,
That's it.
look at that.
that thing's atrocious.
The car doctor.
This is a great choice. I always like when
wheels
you
are so
drive around,
big.
but I would never own one. I think they're ugly.
I saw one for sale on Facebook Marketplace like a year ago, and it was like a fairly tempting dollar amount. It was like 20 grand. I'm like,
Oh wow, that's not bad.
now obviously a $20,000 Aston Martin Lagonda is
Everything's-
a devastating
Yeah.
economic decision. Yeah. Oh, just
Bankruptcy.
absolute mess.
Fully.
But what
destroyed.
but like, what's stopping somebody from buying one and just like LS swapping one? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
that would be
why
the way to
can't-
do it. And what does it have right now? In it stock? Is it a V12 or?
No, it's a V8. It's an Aston V8. And probably, I mean, it's Aston, so I'm sure the transmission behind it is probably like a GM 3-speed or something anyways, but which is what an absolute testament to madness that thing is.
Frank, what are you choosing?
Are you familiar with what an Earth Roamer is?
Nope.
So
Camping.
it's basically, they build them off of, I think, mostly Ford chassis. Well, that one there is a Chevy, but it's basically if you want an RV, but you want to do like the doomsday cosplay thing,
Yeah.
right? And just like really butch up your
You can do
RV
the,
experience.
You can
That's
do the
awesome.
K car show inside this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the good thing too, is you can show up, you can
Envelope the show.
over imbibe,
You
right,
can envelope
at the
show.
party,
Yeah.
and just go out there and just like start cooking up breakfast for people or whatever. Like you don't have to go anywhere.
Yep.
They're so absurd. I don't know how much they are, except for just obscene amounts of money. Like I think they
Also,
start
like
at like
200.
$550 or something.
I mean, they're a house, yeah.
Yeah, although that one photo wasn't very flattering. Like the whole siding's all wavy and terrible. But
Yeah.
they are just it's a overlanding luxury. They're insanity.
Why
And-
not a Sprinter van? Is it like faster than
Oh, it's
that?
not butch enough.
Okay.
It's not like tactical enough.
Okay.
Like this thing is. Yeah, look at that SX whatever.
Yeah.
They're not as bad and garish as like
This is-
a Resvani
Sleeps
tank.
up to 6.
Yeah.
The name is like sounds so 80s and 90s, like a Earth Roamer.
Exactly. The Earth Rumor SX.
Yeah.
This is quite the antithesis, and you could probably murder every K car in this building.
You can have the
Oh,
show
for sure.
inside. That
Yeah, you could probably put 3 or 4 of them.
Highest ender on K cars. But
remove
like,
the kitchen and have the show inside.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I always use this, but I'm a huge fan of Ghia-bodied Chryslers for some reason. This thing is as long
That
as,
thing. Cool material.
this thing is the longest car you've
It's a
ever
jet.
seen in your life, and
Yeah, there's a lot of Imperial in that.
Reminds,
Yeah, I
it
was-
reminds me of that Jetsons turbine car we saw at Car Week.
yeah,
Yeah.
So this is I would
Which was
choose
that was
this.
Ghia bodied. The
Yeah.
Chrysler, Chrysler
Because-
turbine is a
Turbine
Ghia bodied car.
in the K car was meant to be below a tax bracket, and this thing is meant to be above all tax
It's
brackets.
its own tax. Yeah.
It's its own tax bracket, and it's as long as probably like what 1, 2, 3, 4 of them.
yeah.
3 or 4 of them. So yeah, this would be me in this color.
That
I would-
color's
this-
cool.
This exact car.
Yeah.
So space age.
Yeah. So space age.
Is that the only one they built, or did they make
This
like
is
5 or
it's
something?
concept, so probably.
Yeah.
I would imagine like they've very few of these. These didn't come to market.
Yeah. All that era Chrysler Virgil Exner design stuff is so out there. Like I love that era of
Ooh,
like
look
the
at that.
original Chrysler 300 and 300BE.
It needs a turbine engine.
That forward look stuff is so cool.
Yeah, I love these
This
cars.
is the best wheel.
I would settle for just a regular 300.
Yeah.
With the Gia body, but that's still like 150 grand.
Yeah.
And like it used to be, I don't need a coupe like this, but like I just saw this and I'm like, I didn't know it existed. So
That's
like,
a cool car.
We're going with this.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's like cartoonish, and I don't mean that in like a bad
Look at
way.
the website name. Cool material.
Cool
material.
material, bro. Hey, man, we're getting them clicks.
Yeah.
Under lifestyle.
Can I get a how about an Imperial LeBaron by Chrysler?
Yeah.
In the 70s.
It's like a moving living room.
Yeah.
It smells like cigarettes.
Oh, like the slabs. The slab side
No,
ones are
no, like
crazy.
a 70.
Yeah, like a 70.
70, not the Chrysler LeBaron, the Imperial.
Chrysler LeBaron.
Well, at the
Imperial
time,
LeBaron.
just look up. Yeah,
Imperial
Imperial LeBaron. There you go,
There it is.
73.
Yeah,
That's what
73
you
right
want.
there. That blue one right there. Or there's one right. Yeah, there's one. Oh, no, we
Oh,
won't look
Imperial Market. Let's look at the Greater Imperial Market.
at that. There's one.
Ooh,
Which,
big. Oh, that's 73. Well, they're all 73s, but
Yeah.
slab sides. I actually know some. I know someone local selling
this
one.
door without a pillar. I
Yeah,
can just
dude.
imagine what a side impact would do.
Don't
to
worry about it.
this car.
You, the driver, are a structural component in this equation.
We've seen a steady decline in sales or in price, very slowly.
Yeah,
but
so these
surely.
all, I think 73, that this would have been a 440. And just, these were big enough and heavy enough, and the frames were fully boxed that that generation Imperial and the generations before it, they were outlawed from demolition derbies because they're too, and I'm serious.
You're gonna kill somebody in that thing.
Yeah. And because, they were just too overpowering. They were
Yeah.
too OP. Oh,
Oh,
that's
man.
what we want.
The 4-door though. You gotta go 4-door, bro.
Yeah, look at that.
Imperial
Imperial
so flat
LeBaron.
and slabby.
Yeah, this is along the same lines of the 300. Like it just
Look at all
really is
this
just like
ashtrays
full,
or switches.
Yeah, ashtrays, like faux wood everywhere. Pop up, or I guess
You
not
and,
pop up.
you and
sideways.
5 of your best friends cruising around in that thing.
You can imagine what this thing smells like too.
Cigarettes.
Oh, butter, yeah, cigars,
cigarettes, and
pipe
glue.
tobacco, and Werther's Originals.
Yeah, a little hint of glue in there somewhere.
Right.
Yeah,
Were parking spots bigger back in the 70s? Like much bigger to fit these cars? I don't know. Because these definitely don't fit in now.
don't
so
think
like
so.
that one, like I know someone selling one, basically this exact spec. So green on green 4-door. I believe it is a 73 Imperial, not a LeBaron, but just an Imperial,
Why
and
does
it's
the,
absolutely insane.
why does the roof look like vinyl? Is it metal?
It
underneath?
is, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what they call a Landau roof. So if you want to look like you have a convertible, but you
Okay.
don't.
That
But
was
it's
a big
not a
thing in the
convertible.
70s. Yeah.
Yeah,
You could
60s and 70s, that was a big deal.
Yeah.
And then, of
So-
course, they would soak up moisture and then rust the roof underneath it.
Yep.
There's a whole thing.
Does it have a metallic roof underneath that?
Yeah. It's the roof.
Yeah,
And
they
would
just
put the vinyl.
adhesive that over
Yeah,
the
they
top.
just covered it in vinyl, which
Yeah.
is
They would do it
crazy.
on Mustangs a lot. Actually, all 70s cars.
They
Yeah.
did it. I mean, they did it on Cadillac until like 2007.
Yeah.
I love seeing like a modern car where someone has
with a vinyl
gone
roof.
and had like the vinyl or
Like a
or
Seville or
cloth.
something. Like a coupe
Yeah. Oh
Seville
yeah.
or-
You see it on like a
which is like I
Yeah.
can't
yeah
believe
anything a
this exists.
CTS like
Yeah.
a new CTS.
Yeah,
You're like,
that's what
what?
I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Like
it's
just,
wild.
This person made a choice, and I guarantee it's because his mom or dad had something like this and thought it was cool.
Like car bras, they were
like-
things.
It's the same thing, yeah.
PT Cruisers had wood paneling option.
Oh,
Something
yeah,
like
dude.
Something like that.
There was one outside yesterday
with wood paneling.
with the wood paneling.
How about this? If you had to pick any quick tangent, if you had to pick any modern production car right now to option with wood paneling, what are you going with?
Rolls Royce boat tail.
The which one?
Boat tail.
No, like modern, like
Modern?
right now,
Yeah.
like a 2025. I don't know, maybe the new Hummer. Go put a Rivian, a Rivian R1S with
Rivian,
wood
yeah,
panel.
It has to be slab sided. Rivian
Yeah.
would be great.
Yeah.
The Hummer would be great too. The Hummer is all about
Like
rubber and
Ionic,
shit. So.
Ionic Fire.
Oh, you know what it's got to be? It's got to be the new Wagoneer.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's-
I'm surprised they don't have
That's too
that.
easy.
Yeah.
They probably have that option, right?
Could
I'm
be.
assuming they would have that option.
I mean, they're not selling, so anything that they can get.
They should
a
just
reason
do
to buy
it.
one.
They would sell it to like 3 people in the Bay Area at least.
Yeah. Like, just ironically, but
Yeah,
whatever. The money's still
ironically.
green.
What the fuck? I'm buying this.
Yeah.
Escalade. One of those.
Yeah,
things.
Escalade would work.
Basically, in domestic cars only would work.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. But comment down below what your humongous antithesis car would be for the Tiny Car Show.
But don't bring it next year and ruin the show.
Yeah.
We're just kidding.
Well, funny enough, we had a bunch of big. We had my dad's 126. We
Yeah.
had Spencer's 140.
No,
we had like a huge like Yakuza meeting outside of the show. The
Hey, I
whole
had my
time.
GMT 800 Suburban parked out front.
Yeah.
That what was it? The Chevy SSR, the black one that was outside, was freaking dope.
It was trying to get
dope.
inside. Well, I only saw it leave.
He had the roof
Try.
dropped on it too.
Oh,
that
damn.
clean, dude.
Was it a
That
manual? Was it
clean.
6-speed?
I'm not sure.
Oh.
I didn't see in the inside.
Chevy SSR or
Yeah.
HHR?
SSR.
SSR.
Sounds
That's a
like
little convertible pickup
sounds
truck
like a
thing.
Soviet
Yeah.
Union product.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was clean, and it was for sale too.
Is this?
Yeah, black
They're
on black. It
so
was black.
bad, but they're
Oh,
so
I-
What was
good.
that like that black one there?
I always thought these were
That
called
American
HHR.
flag one, yeah, that's it. We sold that one. That was one of my sellers in the Pac Northwest.
yeah.
Somebody
a-
spent humongous money American flagging the whole
Oh,
thing.
no.
Absolutely
It's a Hot
bonkers.
Wheels car.
What a
Yeah.
what a baffling decision to make.
It's a car that shouldn't exist. but
Isn't
it
there
does.
a PT Cruiser type version of this?
Oh, look at the old school truck
the
version.
PT Cruiser.
The green one. Look at that
they all
thing.
came out about the same
Look
time.
at that.
When they,
Oh, boy.
all the
Yeah,
retro
all-
looks were
all
were
those
back
designs
in.
were-
The Prowler,
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
the
The
VW
Thunderbird.
Bug, the Thunderbird.
Yeah, the new Beetle,
All
the
retro
Thunderbird.
throwback sort
Mhm.
of thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
HHR is very similar.
Yeah, this is what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's-
Yeah, HHR.
Yeah.
You can. Yeah, it's very God, what's his face? Who was the lead designer on that? Who also designed the PT Cruiser?
Yeah.
well, I know
Nesbitt,
they're not,
Brian
they're not
Nesbitt.
working anymore.
No, dude, look him up. He's like the head of design for GM to this day.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Brian Nesbitt. I need to get him on the pod. That's what I get. I got to get him on my
Invented or
terrible
designed?
pod. Come at me with PT Cruiser knowledge.
This
there
guy?
he is.
Oh my God.
Brian Nesbitt. Let's
yeah.
go.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
look
see
at
that.
And then he took his homework to.
God, that's
Chevy,
maybe the
Chrysler.
most 2001 image ever made right there. The
You know-
flavor, they got the little flavor saver soul patch thing going.
It seemed like a
Needs
good,
puka
like if you
shells.
saw that rendering, like back in the day, it seemed like a great idea in theory, but it was just the people that actually bought it.
Now it's ironic. Yeah. Everything. Now it's all fully ironic.
Yeah.
Imagine being seen in that PT Cruiser.
Hey.
So there's a house by me, and the guys had this guy or gal or both has had this 2-car solution in their driveway for the last 10 years. Yellow PT Cruiser Turbo with chrome wheels, and then parked right next to it in the driveway. Isuzu Vehicross.
Ooh.
Name
that's
a better 2-car
That's cool.
solution. I
Vehicross is
dare
cool.
you.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Very
that's an
cool.
Interesting selection.
How to
Yeah.
win at Cars and Coffee.
Peak 2004.
Yeah. But I think that'll end it. Make sure you're subscribed to the podcast if you're new.
Do
Like the
it.
video if you enjoyed it, and please comment where did Robert go in the comments if you made it this far.
Yeah, where has Robert gone?
I don't. He just hasn't shown up to anything.
Ah,
I think he might be dead.
Well, he was dead last time I was on the pod, right?
Yeah, he's been dead for-
he's skeletonized mid pod.
I think he's in the dirt somewhere. But if Robert, if you're listening to this, comment down below. We miss you. We don't know where you are.
We miss and love our Robert. Damn it, Bobby.
But that's it. We will see you next week on another episode of the Vault Podcast. And
Yes.
thanks to Frank for the
Of
Viper
course.
beer and the McDonald's burgers
Viper
that BJ
beer,
was
bag
was eating.
McDonald's. Yeah, if you want to see more of my nonsense, I also have a terrible pod. It's called Another Pointless Automotive Podcast, and it's exactly how it sounds. And otherwise, yeah, I'll have to come back more. This is fun.
That's awesome.
Thanks for putting up with
Yeah,
me.
the more the merrier.
Appreciate you, man.
All right.
Bang.
See you later.
Deuces.